Now we want to know, hey girl, what you doing?
Is that where we're going?
Sure, why not?
Official, unofficial, official, unofficial, official, unofficial. It's definitely not official. Official, unofficial, official, unofficial, official, unofficial. It's just.
Welcome to the Official Unofficial New Girl podcast. I am one of your hosts, Al, and with me right here is Erica,
Hello.
and over here is Ben.
What's up?
How's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good. We are talking about episode 2 from season 1, Kryptonite, which aired September 27th, 2011, written by Elizabeth Merriweather and directed by Jake Kasdan. Let's go and do a recap of the episode. We start with Jess walking into Schmidt's room and Schmidt asking where he looks sexiest in the room and in what position, which is one of my favorite things ever. And that slowly turns into Nick coming into the room and starting to mess with Schmidt, and that slowly turns into Jess along with Nick messing with him and asking him to go through all different positions again and again.
What position would you say is the sexiest?
Reading the book for sure on the arm of the chair for sure. That was my favorite. And what I really love is the fact that Schmidt keeps going. Every time they ask for him to go and do it again, he really wants them to see so that he could get the opinion that he wants so badly. Then we see Jess excited to meet Winston, making him breakfast, and proceeds to wake him up singing him out of a hangover because it's Jess and she has to sing, introduce herself to everyone, apparently. Jess then asks the guys for clothes to borrow, as much of her belongings are still at Spencer's. And then Schmidt jumps in to save the day, and he introduces her to his sexual partners, Lost and Found, that he has in his room. But also makes sure to get her in there and start asking whether Winston mentioned anything about the big room, which is Winston's room before he moved out. Jess then asks the guys she goes back into the living room, I believe, and asks them what they think of the Spencer situation. And that's when Nick tells her that she has to go and get her stuff back. Schmidt gives her a basketball, which she smashes into the TV, destroying it, breaking it. And then that ends up having to force her to go to Spencer's and get a replacement TV. Then Jess ends up meeting Spencer but actually ends up driving his new girlfriend, Rochelle, to the airport. Because, yeah.
Because Jess is the nicest human being in the world. And of course she would drive her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend to the airport.
Right. Who does that but Jess? Nick then Jess goes back to the apartment and apologizes for failing her mission of getting the TV. And then Nick tells Jess that Spencer is her kryptonite. That's where we get the episode title from. And she has to stand up to him. So Jess, accompanied by the guys, drives to Spencer's and manages to get the TV. Is distracted when she realizes Spencer is wearing her T-shirt that I want to say a student made for her, or are we not there yet? Or I don't know.
Don't remember. I believe it was for the jam. It was the Miss Day's jam.
Jamboree.
Jamboree,
yeah.
The jamboree shirt that she had made, and that was really when she lost it, was when she realized that was the shirt that he was wearing, and that's when she went in and got all her stuff. Yes.
She just loves jam, you know?
I mean, who doesn't like jam? Everyone
Very
loves
passionate
jam.
about jam.
Jam is fantastic.
Jam is great.
And when you have a great pun like jamboree, I mean, obviously, you can't let that slide.
The guys then start standing up for Jess and start threatening Spencer to give the T-shirt back, and I believe it was Schmidt who threatened him with like physical violence, just like it starts slapping the air around him or something, and but that eventually works. And on the way back, Winston tells Schmidt he can keep the big room, and somehow Schmidt refuses to do that, thinking Winston is tricking him and playing mind games, is I believe what Schmidt says.
Yep.
So then they fix the TV. They get the TV and they tape it together, I believe, because there are some parts it's still broken, so they tape it together. And when they're wondering what to watch, Jess lists a bunch of DVDs of hers that she got back from Spencer's, and everyone just backs out because they don't want to watch any of her. What would you call the
Late, what were they? Early 90s DVDs, I would say.
Yes, early 90s, yes. But Schmidt comes back because he's up for some Curly Sue for sure.
Yeah, Curly
Wasn't, you know?
It's a great movie. Great movie.
And that's the episode. That's the recap. What are we giving this episode in terms of how many Schmitties it's getting? I would probably say, for me, this is again a solid 9, but I don't know. What do we think, Erica?
I think I'm going to give this episode 8.5. I know my last episode I said I gave that one a 9.5. This one I'm stepping it back just a little to an 8.5. Still a fantastic episode, super relatable, super great episode, but I just, 8.5, still pretty high rating. It's just I feel like the last one was a little bit better, so still giving it a good score.
How do we feel, Ben?
Oh, I loved it. So I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10 Schmitties, just for the line, the I like bikes, and then Spencer's response, not enough. No, it's super relatable with all the X stuff, and just some really good character development all around. So I'm going to go 9.
Yeah,
Yep.
great.
9
I agree.
9 out of 10 Schmitties.
Definitely.
And anything else maybe you want to add in terms of like anything else that you could relate to in the episode that we did not cover, Ben?
I think just the general friendship side of things, for me, was the most relatable part. So just standing up for friends, and just it was so cool just to see the gang sort of band together to help Jess in the moment of need. I love the line "Suck it, Mr. Krabs" at the end, because we we know from earlier in the episode that's something that she was possibly going to say. So it was pretty cool to hear that at the end. But some all-around great moments. No, that was great.
I love this episode. It is a great one, especially the jam. Everyone knows how much I love puns. We all know I'm a sucker for puns, and the Jamboree shirt is, and that shirt does come back, and I can't wait to talk about it in that episode. So, yep, look for that in a future episode. Just saying, wink. So, yep.
Nice. I also thought it was a great episode. Again, it's the characters and what the boys do for Jess is a great little embodiment of what the show is, to put it that way, I guess.
It's a good episode. This is a great episode. And I have a great story that goes with this episode, because I definitely can relate to the having to track back and get your stuff from your ex's place. That's for sure. I had, and this was, I'm going to say, count years, 15 years ago now, somewhere around there. Sure, we're going to go with 15. That sounds like a good number. And I did not want to wait at all. 2 days after the breakup, and I ran back into that apartment, and it was me and my friend. And funny enough, my friend's name was Ben too. And we ran into the apartment, and we grabbed all of my stuff as fast as we possibly could and shoved it all into the back of a very small vehicle. And along with some early 90s DVDs, took a lot of those too, because that jerk erased my PS2 memory card and he didn't deserve those DVDs. So I took them. So, yep, if he was going to take my PS2 and all my memory card stuff, I was going to take the DVDs. I thought it was a very fair trade off. So, jerk. But yeah, I feel like that is a very relatable story.
Very, very relatable,
We've all
obviously.
been to that one. So, that's my story.
Yep. And speaking of relatable, we're gonna go into Nick's tips and mix things up a little bit. Nick's tips are a segment for the most relatable Nick moment, and I picked a very very near and dear to my heart line of Nick's when he's describing how important the TV is, and he says it's important. It's a television. It's what brings all of us. Just get us the TV. Is what he says.
I love that line. Eh?
Such a good
Yeah,
line.
that's
It's such a good line.
yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I don't know if you know the feeling of having a broken TV or not having that TV there, and it's just like this empty void of. So I totally feel that with Nick here. What do you guys think are contenders for Nick's tips?
My TV broke right before the Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh no!
And I had to watch that episode on a 12-inch computer monitor, like while I was laying on my floor in the attic, and it was awful because that monitor was so bad.
I just see you squinting, trying to figure out who's dying. I'm like, who was
Just
that?
in front of my TV, I'm like, what's going on? Why are those? Oh no, that's what's happening. Oh no. Yes, that was the worst. Oh, because it was a big 60-inch TV and it just stopped out of nowhere. No signs, just done right. And it was literally like I didn't have time to run out and get a new one. It was, oh, Game of Thrones is on. Click, click.
Oh no, it was one of the victims of the Red Wedding.
It was. It exactly was. So I am going to vote with you, Al. That is my Nick's tips for this week as well, because that is the most relatable from Nick.
Nice. Do you have any good ones, Ben?
Yeah, I think for me it was probably just the standing up for the friend moment that I could relate to the most. So this hat, come take it off my head, pal, I dare you.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
That's a great line.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then the line is just like, I don't like you, Stretch. Like,
Absolutely,
that was probably my
absolutely.
favorite moment I had. Yeah.
Also, I think a great segue to this would be to jump into True American Hero, and I'll pick our possible MVP of the episode because I happen to think that Nick was 100%, in my opinion, the MVP of this episode because of what he did for Jess in this one. I don't know, any other choices for MVP, Erica?
Nick was great and he was the one who stood up first. I am gonna go with Winston. I know this is Winston's first episode, but him at the end coming up with everybody and putting that hat on at the end, standing up with all of his friends, finally getting in Jess's corner was just like, it was really the final kick, I think, that they really needed to defeat Spencer at the end there.
The turnaround from being maybe not as passionate as the rest of the guys into that makes a lot of sense.
That's my True American MVP for this episode.
Who's your True American MVP, Ben?
I'm going with Schmidt. Hey.
Schmidt.
Yeah, kind of the same sort of thing. I think they all have that great moment where they stand up, obviously, for their friend. But the whole Schmidt happens and the thumb ring and the Schmidt on your face.
It's so good. It's so good.
Just hilarious moments there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Schmidt for this one.
How about we go with the boys? The boys are the MVPs of this episode. I think
That's a great call.
We go with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
For the douchebag jar, we have a bunch of lines from Schmidt that could qualify for the douchiest line, which is what we do in this segment. I believe for me personally, it would have to be the line where he says hot choices, that little skull, but he says it's so nectar when describing his thumb ring. It's a term that got me for sure. I don't know. What do you guys think, Ben?
I'm going with the same one, dude. I'm going with that
Same one.
nectar. It's just it's perfect
So-
schmidt, you know.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. And I'm going to agree with the both of you because it's just like where I don't even know. It's terrible. Dude,
And
God,
Nick's line, did you make that up? He's like, no, it's a volleyball
it's a
term.
volleyball term. It's a volleyball term. Like what? It's a thumb ring. Yeah,
A volleyball term.
no, that's
Gotta love
definitely
it.
the douche jar term of the episode for sure for me too. Absolutely, it's nectar.
Can we bring it back? Can we
And
start using that? You know?
I'm down. I'm down if you're down, Ben.
Absolutely. Oh man.
So, as Erica pointed out, this is the very first episode where we see one of our leads, Winston.
What's up, Winston?
That could only mean one thing: our segment dedicated to Winston. This episode, I'm gonna go out there and say when "Save the Best for Last" by Vanessa Williams starts playing as part of his rage mix, Winston says, well, what's happening is that this is a great song. And that is definitely my favorite Winston moment. Him standing up to his maybe somewhat questionable musical choice or musical taste in this video. What do we think about What's Up, Winston this week?
I think Vanessa Williams is a great choice. Maybe not for his rage mix, but it's still a banger.
Absolutely. Ben, do you have any suggestions for What's Up, Winston, or are we?
Yeah, I think for me it was the introduction to Winston with the "What's happening? Why are you doing this?" Just the look on his face.
So good.
Yeah. So good. We will now move on to Jake Watch. I believe he still doesn't know about the segment. No.
Or the show.
Okay.
No response yet.
Mm-mm.
No response yet. Okay, so what? And the hashtag was "Let Jake Know."
Let Jake know. Hashtag let Jake know. Yeah.
So we're still waiting on that, I believe.
Someday.
Someday. And now we want to know, hey girl, what you doing? Ben?
Not a lot, buddy. I just made myself a nice green tea, so that's kicking in. Got a bit of a caffeine fix happening, so but no, it's good. It's going good, dude. It's going good, thanks. Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you got your tea sorted.
Green tea, me too.
Yes. That about wraps it up. So I believe Erica, you can tell us about the Patreon that people can go and sub to.
Sure can. So our Patreon launches in November 2020. You can check that out over there on patreon.com/theoupod. Also, you'll be able to find it on our link. So you can subscribe. There are so many tiers with so many options and so many cool things that you can check out over there. I'm super excited for it. So excited for you guys to see everything that we've been putting together for you. It is going to help us be able to continue to make great content, make better content. It's going to go towards getting some cool upgrades for us so that we can just keep making better shows for you guys. So I'm very excited for it.
And for all that content, where can people go to, Ben?
Well, I believe you'd go to theoupod.com. That's theoupod.com.
Nice, where we can find the YouTube videos and the podcast feeds and all of that good stuff. And that about wraps things up. Until next time, keep it unofficial.